Hey everybody, happy Friday. Thanks for joining me today on Fridays with Flora. I'm really sorry about the mess back here. We had a dinosaur-sized icicle 2 months ago in our crazy Chicago snow. We had a ton of snow in February. It was insanity. Big dinosaur icicle, and one evening my husband and I are just, chilling out watching some Netflix, and crash, glass all over. The icicle kind of flew into our bedroom window, and we just had all the windows fixed, and that's why all this junk is in here, because that's what else you're going to do while the window guys are here. Have to move everything out, and my office is now the dumping ground. Anyway, too much information for all of you. Anyway, thanks for joining me today. Spring is here, right? No more dinosaur icicles flying into windows. I'm like buying flowers. Look at this cute thing that's keeping me company. I got it at Aldi. Adorable. I'm like buying flowers left and right because I'm like so ready. I'm so ready for spring. And I had this really great idea last week for really fun springtime desserts. And it's using a pasta maker with pie dough. You usually make pasta with a pasta maker, but why not use any kind of dough? In fact, something for sweet applications. So join me today. We're going to have some fun and creativity, creating little tart nests, tartlet nests, that you can fill any which way you want for any kind of spring celebration. Showers, baby showers, parties, garden parties, Easter, which is Sunday, anything that you want to celebrate. New life and new beginnings, make these little nests and have some fun. Even the kids can fill them. So join me in the kitchen. We're going to have some fun today. First things first, you take out your store-bought dough and let it sit at room temperature for a little bit to soften up. With the first crust, these are going to be our bottoms. So roll it out. And if it cracks, no big deal, because we're going to roll it some more. Once you've got it thinned out, I'm taking a mason jar rim because that's the size I want for these. Excuse me, my fingers are a little full of flour, so they're slippery. Anyway, cut some forms like so. These are going to be the bottom of your nests. Place on a parchment-lined baking sheet. Now I'm going to only make 6, but you can easily get 8 out of this, maybe even 9 if you were to grab your scraps, re-roll it, and you could get 1 or 2 more. So don't worry, we're going to use these scraps for the nest part. We're going to unroll our second crust. Okay, for this crust, we're going to make the nest part, the sides. So I'm going to use my pasta machine, my Mercato pasta machine that I make spaghetti and linguine and ravioli with. And I'm going to use the flattening roller to get this nice and thin. If you don't have a contraption like mine, you can use a rolling pin at this stage and just roll it out again like we did with our bottoms, as thin as possible. And then we'll talk about the next step by hand if you don't have my pasta machine. So with this, I'm going to cut this down the middle. So this is my pasta machine, and right now I just have the flat rollers. I am going to use, eventually, my attachment for spaghetti. You can even do capellini, which is even thinner, but I'm going to do the spaghetti ones. What this does is it has a nice, consistent flattening and thinning to the dough. So we're going to run through it. Right now I'm at 4. See? Nice and thin. I'm going to add the contraption on. This just slides right here. And then depending on which attachment you want, what size you want, you put your handle in there. Oop. All right, I'm going to move the camera over so we can make our little spaghettis. Now with this long strip, it's a lot for me to handle because I'm on my own. If you're by yourself, this gets really unwieldy. So if you have a partner in crime, they can help guide something this long. But I'm going to cut this in half again, lengthwise. So I just have a piece yay big. Because we just need to make enough for our little nests. So in this goes. All right, you're gonna have some pieces that fall away, you're gonna have some smaller pieces, that's okay. The more rustic the pieces, I'm okay with, because we're doing some nests, right? And nests are natural and they're a little rough and tumble depending on how the birds make them. So one thing, before you start going to the rest of your pieces, I like sprinkling this with a little bit of flour and tossing them a little bit in the flour so that they don't stick together too bad until I'm ready to use them. If you're worried about your dough drying out, put some plastic wrap over them. I'm gonna go continue on with my other pieces. Okay, so this is my spaghetti pie crust. Tossed with some flour, and even the broken bits. Do not be afraid if you don't get these nice long strands. The broken bits can be used too in your little nest. You can see where I'm going with this. So next step, let's get an egg wash together. 1 egg beaten with a tablespoon of water. One more thing to note, remember I mentioned if you don't have a pasta machine, what you can do is cut these super, super thin with a really sharp knife, and just make sure that you've rolled that dough out really thin. So that's another way to get there. You might not get as thin as this, but you can get pretty close. You can still get the effect. Okay, so your egg wash is going to be your glue, as well as kind of like a little bit of a seal, and also give it a pretty shine and glaze. So with a pastry brush and your egg wash, brush the edges. It's not necessary to do the middle, but you can. It'll give you a nice sheen in the middle if you want. Now with some of your pie dough, build up the sides. How adorable is that? So keep going on your other ones. Okay, now comes the tricky part. And it's a little messy, but with your egg wash, just kind of drizzle and tuck in and move, sort of set the nest with your egg wash. See how I'm doing it? It's not going to be a perfect coverage. It's just, I like to do maybe around the edge at the bottom, scooting in. And then a little bit on top, like so. So, as you go around the bottom, maybe some pieces might fly off. Just kind of tuck them in. I'm just going to sprinkle liberally with sugar. Do you have to do this? No. Honestly, it depends what you fill these with. And for kids, if you're going to do something for kids, you know, they like to have something sweet. If you want the whole thing edible, some sugar on here would be nice. Okay, so I'm going to bake these up at 350. And, you know, I'm going to check the box here because, oh, what does it say here? 10 to 12 minutes. They might not take that long. I'm going to check them at 8 because they're small, and now you've put a lot of glaze on these, so they're going to brown up quicker. I'm going to check at 8, and then we'll see. 350. Okay, so these took 12 minutes, believe it or not. I didn't think they would, but they did. They're still really hot. They're going to continue to kind of settle and cook a little bit in the baking sheet. Let them sit till they cool down, and then honestly, creativity is the limit on what you can fill with these. I'm going to give you a couple ideas, but it's up to you what you want to do. In fact, you can have even the kids have like a kind of a nest-filling buffet, and they can fill it with puddings and candies and whatever, and then they can eat them. Super cute. But I will give you 2 ideas, so stay tuned. So for a kid-friendly one, I've used some food coloring on some sweetened coconut. And Cadbury has some really cute chocolate eggs. Adorable! You could also put a peep in there if you'd like. And then for the grown-ups, I have a wonderful lemon pie filling. It's basically a lemon curd and some whipping cream folded in. You just refrigerate that until set, and then you can add some eggs. So you can fill them any way you want. You could make them bigger. You can make a whole pie. Really, it's up to you. So, wasn't that fun? Isn't it fun using one tool and using it a little differently? It's so creative. So anyway, I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful start to spring. For those of you that are celebrating Easter, hope you have a wonderful Easter on Sunday. Please celebrate safely. I know I've been saying that a lot, but it's true. And anyway, if you want to keep up on all the fun things that we do and all the creativity, please subscribe down below. It really helps us out. Slowly but surely, we are building our audience, and it's really, really exciting. Thank you all that are, that are supporting us. We really, really do appreciate it. And anyway, thank you, and we'll see you in a couple weeks. Bye-bye.